What's good, YouTube? Today's video is my top 10 snubs in the Season 5 NBA 2K League draft. This is a tough video because these are guys that, didn't have their dream come true, but doesn't mean it's over because there's definitely a chance for these 10 players to be selected and brought up into the league this year if there was things to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Joe, I don't give a fuck if I fucked up the intro. All right, guys.
Hey, bro, look, at the end of the day, is your content. I think this is more entertaining than some other stuff because, look, did we get the guys counter? Because I swear, this man has said it over 100 times.
Okay, listen, no one gives a fuck. All right. Anyway, guys.
All right, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, guys.
All right, Joes. Okay, Joes. All right, I'm gonna replace guys with Joes. Okay. Anyway, so today we're doing a top 10 snubs. We already kind of developed the list together. You see right now that I have Mooch at number 10, Mai at 9, Range at 8, Screddy at 7, Idris at 6, Merc at 5, Forever Polo at 4, Seldom at 3, 2 Goofy, and number 1 is Glenn Ratty. So, Joe, what is your thoughts on this list? And is there any glaring name right now, in your opinion, that's missing? And is there somebody that's too high on this list?
Yeah. But a bunch of people. First and foremost, you don't have Big Perm on here, which is automatically throw this shit in the trash.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about Big Perm. See, that's even more. He's even more of a snub because he couldn't even get on the snubs list.
Bro, people are talking about snubs, and his name barely came up, which is unfortunate because this man hooped.
I mean, I would definitely put him at number 10. I wouldn't put him too high.
Bro, what? Bro, he's that guy, he hoops, man. He deserves the credit. Shit, you can say the same thing for Doug's if you really wanted to.
Yeah, Doug's a Perm in the same situation.
Like, because I wouldn't call Mai or Mooch, any of them, snubs. I'm sorry.
How are they not? I guess they're not. I guess they're not because they weren't really projected to go. I could put D-Hugs and replace. I could put Doug's and replacement for him. So, all right. So I added Doug's at Perm. I put them in the place of Mai and Mooch. So looking at this list, I mean, there's a lot of power forwards on this list. So I mean, that's the only thing too. There's a lot of power forwards, but number 1, I have Glenn. Would you say Glenn was the number 1 steal? I mean, number one snub.
No. Guy, stop playing the damn game. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care. You can't call yourself a snub if you stop playing the game. You did this to yourself. This is the same exact thing that Fanta did last year and was wondering why he didn't get drafted last year. If you stop playing the game in a esport that has very few spots, who else is there to blame? Who are you pointing the finger at?
I'm gonna blame every mock draft. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna blame every mock draft that didn't put me in there. Okay.
I mean, yeah, whatever, I guess. Like, point fingers, accountability. Woo, people I want on my team.
Yeah. No. Listen, Joe.
Nah, Glow, bro, your situation breaks my heart, man. It's just, again, not enough spot. It's just an overload on power forwards. We already had a lot of centers in the squad. I mean, in the league. You had people who played both positions. People wound up just getting, unfortunately not able to make the league.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to say who I think, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Joe. He stopped playing the game, but he's still good. Like, I'm just wondering, like, we have to put him somewhere on the list? Like, you can't, like, I understand if you don't put him number 1, but who is number 1 then?
Yeah, we can definitely put him on the list, but to be the number 1 overall snub when you stop playing in games for 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
That's, if anything, that's disrespectful to each and every other person on this list.
That's fair. That's fair. So who is the number 1 snub though, Joe? Is it Goofy?
I think it's Merc.
How is it Merc over Goofy, a guy who's a champion? He's a 2K League champion. He plays the center position.
That center position that only had 3 spots.
Yeah,
it's not like he plays power forward either.
Yeah, but he's still a snub, though, Joe. He's still a
okay. Who are you going to replace him with?
What do you mean? There was 3 spots.
Who are you going to replace him with? Yeah, who would you have drafted? I mean, who would you have replaced Goofy with?
You could have done it with DJ. You could have easily done it with DJ.
Bro, I'm sorry, DJ plays both power forward and center.
He's still playing center, so it doesn't matter. He's still playing center. Say if it goes for Rob went to the Blazers, so he couldn't go to the Blazers. I get it. He has limited spots, but it's just like he's definitely a snub, and he definitely should be relatively high for what he is. I mean, fake he got selected to the Cavs.
But at the same time, Fakey can play the 4 or the 5. That's why they selected him there. Just like Oreo can play the 4 or the 5. I don't care. Like, again, it's not a disrespect thing to anybody. It's not me being personal with any of my takes. It's just me being realistic, because a lot of people don't take the time to look in the mirror and look at the draft boards, see all of this stuff, and see what they can do to better their situation.
Okay, what did Merck do to be a top steal?
Bro, do you not see how much he won all post-draft and pre-draft?
Is winning in pre, like, is that the equivalent to being like successful in retail? I'm asking, like, does winning matter in retail? Like, or does performing, like, you know what I mean? Like, he
performed.
I mean, he performed at times. He didn't always perform. Like, he definitely performed at times. Like, he didn't every time you watch Merck, it wasn't like he was just like undeniable. Because if that was the case, he definitely would have been picked. Like, there's definitely something behind him not being picked. I just think that, like, what about Seldom? Like, Seldom didn't win everything, but he definitely did win some events. He competes in a lot of events. So, like, how would Seldom not be a bigger snub? Especially because there was, like, 9 PG spots. And you could say that he did it to himself, but, like, he's still a snub. Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, winning matters with certain... Yeah, winning does matter with certain players.
And I get all of that, but also Merck checked off all the boxes. Merck had over 15 interviews.
Okay.
Merck, he's been grinding since post-draft. He's been winning consistently through all of it. I get Seldom. I respect Seldom, but when you think about where Merck was looked at as a snub last year.
Well, it's because his friends didn't select him. People thought, like, the only team he really realistically was going to was Grizz Gaming, and they didn't take him. Like, that was, like, last year. Like, that's what
he had more than one interview last year, bro.
Yeah, but most people thought he was going to go to only one team, Joe. That was definitely the overall perception of it. Like, no one thought he was going to go to these other teams. Like, he definitely, like, his only hope was going to be that Grizz team, and they didn't take him. And once they didn't take him, and then they brought in another player. I don't think, again, I think Merck's definitely a snub. I just think that we're rating his snub a little too high. I think that Seldom is definitely up there just because the guy, he did compete and he did win. He did win events. He went far in events. Obviously, he went far in Dallas. I'm pretty sure what was it, the Bud Light event? He did his thing. There's a lot of events that he did. He definitely competed, and he did more than some guys that did get drafted at the PG role, and he didn't get picked.
I 100% agree.
So, like, but it's Seldom over Merck.
Let's be realistic. When looking at Seldom, was Merck on the timeline saying all the wild shit? Was Merck on the timeline getting into beef with people? Was Merck the one on the shooting himself in the foot in his own prospects in that way? No. Merck would have been, if there was a 6-man spot, Merck would have been in. Mm-hmm. If there were more power forward spots, Merck would have been in. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen for him. Mm-hmm. Merck, he should have been the number 1 snub.
It's a good argument.
I would have gave Perm the number 1 snub, but it is what it is. You can put him lower on the list, but I definitely think Merck deserves to be the number 1 snub.
Besides Vegas, what did Perm do?
He's been hooping we just haven't really seen much of it because it's not as vocal. But even then, if we were weighing in-person gameplay where he went bonkers, mm-hmm. Even in that finals that they lost, he still went bonkers.
Yeah. I definitely think that Listen. You create a great. I agree with the Merc situation just because he's a huge snub because he played his cards right and it just did not like go his way. He didn't do anything wrong to like all these other players. There's kind of a reason. Like Seldom, obviously we know his situation with what happened. Glenn, we kind of know he stopped playing the game. Goofy, he limited himself by only saying he wanted to be center. I don't really know what happened to Screddy.
It's flown easy. Yeah, he might have shot 0 for 6, but he also had hella clutch rebounds. He was playing great defense. He was part of the reason that team was still in there. Yeah, he might not have shot well, but there were a lot of other people who didn't shoot well in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Perm should be on here. I just don't like. Again, like him and Doug's both are in that same category. Two guys that went to Vegas, competed in Vegas and did their thing, but I don't think that I'd necessarily rate them high. I think that they're on the list, but I don't think they should be like top snubs. I think Range, someone who I think a lot of people thought would be one of those locks selected. Obviously, we had some some anomalies and some crazy things happen, where like we had some crazy picks, and that's what happens. Idris' story is interesting because it's kind of like. Is it because he didn't I didn't see Idris play as much? Did he stop playing, or what happened to him, or is he competing? I didn't see much. I saw Idris a lot early on, and then I didn't see him as much. Am I crazy for that one?
Definitely saw him competing. Maybe not like I can't really speak on it completely. Like
yeah,
I definitely think Idris was a snub. He was playing post draft. He was doing what he needed to do, even though he didn't get drafted. It sucks not to see him in. I know that. Sometimes I feel some type of way that I might not be giving him as much credit with certain things, but there's a lot into it. And then with this league, second chances don't come easy. Mm-hmm. There are not many people who get multiple chances. Unfortunately, people talk, things happen. And then again, just the amount of picks. Like I think Idris definitely is a snub because he was one of those people who can play the 4 or the 5 at a high level. Shit, he played the 2 for the Pistons and played very well.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that the fact that, like, for what he did, he definitely should be up there. I think, honestly, he should be above Glenn and Goofy for what he did, in my opinion. I think I would actually put him higher. I might move Glenn and Goofy down, because I do, even, Seldom still needs to stay up there hot. I'm trying to think for Idris.
Nap, hold on. I'm sorry. Nap, I get that. There's a bunch of drafted players that didn't play the game all year long, but guess what? Most of those players that didn't play the game all year long didn't have a season in the league where it was one of arguably the worst seasons. Also, on top of that, locker room issues and other things behind the scenes that people don't even talk about. Even with famous, vouching for them, doing whatever, there's a lot that goes into it. He switched his position. He was hooping. He was doing everything. He was hooping in post-draft. He was hooping in pre-draft. All he had to do was play the game just a little bit more. I'm not saying every single day. But you just have to show consistency. Mm-hmm. People like Splash literally said it in their faces. Oh shit, I forgot Glenn was even there. What does that say?
Damn, that's fucking crazy. Frank, I do think Mood should get a chance on here. I don't understand. Buddha is a little tough. Buddha's tough because, like, besides the Vegas moment, like, I didn't really have much on Buddha besides Vegas. Again, he was competing a little, in the last couple of weeks leading up to the draft. But, like, I feel like it's so hard because he still has so much. Like, I feel like he's a guy that I would have always looked at as getting drafted next year if he keeps going on his trajectory and keeps playing. I didn't ever look at it as, like, him getting selected this year, I'm being honest. He did get quite a few interviews, but I think that he's got to do more. Like, because it would have been wild if he got drafted because he would have been something that's very rare, someone who popped out of nowhere in a short amount of time. Again, what Gallo did is so impressive. We don't realize what Gallo did is so impressive because Gallo, I'm not saying that he hasn't been playing for a long time, but Gallo comes into this. I would say this is his real first year, and again, I know he did stuff obviously before 2K22 came out, but like my thing is like. If with Gallo's run, like, that's insane, you know what I mean, and it's hard to do what he did, especially being the number 1 pick. Buddha, it's like, okay, we get in January, a couple weeks, I'd say a couple weeks before the draft, and we expect Buddha to be a snub. I don't really think so. I think Buddha put his name on the map, and now he's got to build up his resume leading up to next year's draft. I think that that's kind of how I looked at Buddha always, in my opinion. But I'll vouch for Glenn until the end. Never had one off the court issue with him during the year. I mean, it's not about all the off the court issues though with him though. Like, it's just I don't know. You got to remember he told the league to SMD that it takes a lot to come back from with other teams. Oh, okay.
Like there exactly. There's a lot of shit. Like I don't care. It does whoever it is. If you fuck up, you have to bust your ass even harder than any other prospect to get that second chance.
Yeah,
that's it. That's life.
You're under more pressure.
You go to jail, you have to work even harder to make your life back. There's all kinds of other stuff. You make mistakes in life, you have to work harder to correct them, to show people. Like, you can't just think, okay, I'm just doing enough.
Yeah. I think that for him, he was under a bigger microscope. Like, you know,
he definitely was.
You get all those eyes on you, like, oh man, you know, maybe he's going to get back this year, and then you just stop. Like, you know, it's again, I know he probably played, but he didn't play in front of everybody's eyes. I hate to say it, like, you know, the fact that people didn't realize a lot of things, and this happens a lot of times to people. Like, you know, he had a good run, but like, it was on a really good roster, and he should have been playing. Like, he should have found a way onto one of these other good rosters. I don't see why he couldn't. I mean, why didn't I see him on one of these other top rosters? You know what I mean? I'm just curious. Like, why is it that like eyeball was the only thing we knew him from? Like, that didn't just happen. Like out of nowhere. It's not like I usually see a lot of the top teams. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I didn't see Glenn. I felt like I didn't see him, and I mean, maybe that's not me, but that might also be on him. You know, I mean, a lot of people would agree that it seems like he did slow down a little. I've honestly never heard that, but I understand that. Yeah, but again,
no, that shit was on a timeline.
Yeah, I feel like I do remember, but it doesn't really. I don't think that's as much of a factor as like. I think
you don't think so?
I think it's a slight factor, but I also think that like the biggest thing for him is like his biggest question was his skill coming back in, and he built it up, and then he just disappeared. Like I don't. If multiple people are saying they felt like he disappeared, he obviously was not putting himself out there enough at one point. I don't know if it's just the brand of Eyeball was doing such a good job of putting him out there. I don't know what it was, but he's got like there's no way. You know what I mean? There's no way that like you go from being like you go from being this like looked at like I looked at Glenn early on in retail this year as like a top shooting guard, and then like I started seeing other people move past him just because I saw them more and I saw them competing and winning more. Like I don't know what happened. Like again, Glenn and them won so much in the events early on. Like they won so much, and then you go from winning that much and then like I barely hear about you like winning. Like I don't know, man. It's kind of tough for me. It'd be tough for me as if I was in the shoes of a GM. Like, oh man, this guy was playing really good, and now where is he? How about Idris? I got Idris at 6.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Dude, just say anything. Dude, just say anything. I guess I'd just say anything. Why would Glenn say that to the league? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I remember Glenn being upset. I don't remember. You know, we can play. He mature question. Again. Yeah. Do you think Idris didn't get picked up? You were. I think Idris Idris has it's hard to change your reputation. You know what I mean? Like a lot of orgs don't they just think about your past, bro. It's so like Idris has definitely like grown as a person, but like a lot of people get stuck on the past. Like I think for Idris, like some orgs don't care, but some do. I would say, I don't know, man. I'd say for Idris, it's just it's funny because he's probably gonna be one of those guys that gets a phone call later in the like at one point, and they're like, "Hey, we need a replacement for a couple of games. Can you come in?" You know what I mean? Like he's just one of those guys who's always like the odd man out, and I don't know why. He said a timeline, why would I lie? I gained nothing from it. I'm one that got into the 3v3. I changed the narrative. Yeah. But I think that there's like a lot of these guys, like you see a lot of these guys who are snubbed, like there's a common thing that veers around a lot of them. Like, Seldom, Glenn, Goofy, and Idris all had some type of issue when it came to their personality at one point. The rest of the players, I don't know. I don't really understand. But I mean, for the most part, I think a lot of these players have definitely faced some struggles. I don't think Glenn is as bad. I think Glenn has come far. I from what I see, again, me and Glenn don't see eye to eye always, but I don't see anything wrong with what Glenn was doing. I think Glenn should get an opportunity. I hope he gets an opportunity. I think he's good at the game. I think that it's unfortunate what happened, but I definitely think Glenn, will be one of the people probably called up this year into the league. But we'll see. We'll see. But Goofy kind of crazy. He had top center. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but Goofy also went to interviews and told teams he was only playing center. What was that gonna like? Where was that gonna get you? You know what I mean? Like if you tell orgs that you're only playing center when we do power rankings. I mean, if you guys want me to do power rankings, I know Joe's not gonna. I don't want to hold Joe up too long. I can do power rankings on stream, but I might wait another stream. It's up to you guys. I mean, they're all going to be YouTube videos anyway, but I might just wait on that. I just did like 3 YouTube videos, so we'll see. I might wait on that. I also need the league structure. I need to know how the league is structured. I don't know when the league's going to announce that. It might be a couple weeks, but I might do power rankings now and then just readjust them. I might just do like early power rankings and then readjust it based on information I receive. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I gotta go get a lot of thumbnails, man. That means. But as I was saying though, I feel you. It happened long ago. I don't think it's a big factor. I think small role. Slay didn't get picked either. Slay has burned a lot of bridges over the years, and some bridges can never be built. Like you can never build like Slay had a lot of people that didn't like him. And that's part of the process of being in this league. When you burn bridges as a player, people don't, again, like a lot of people, Slay didn't necessarily like burn a lot of bridges, but like some of the stuff that Slay did early on in the league, isn't forgotten or forgiven. People hold on to things, people hold grudges. It's kind of bullshit because like I don't think it should be that way, but it's just how it is. Like I think Slay is a good person. I think he's a good player, but he just, I mean. It's also who you know and your relationships. I think if Chalk's in next year, Slay can get right back in. Because Chalk will vouch for Slay. Chalk would want Slay. I don't know why Goofy would say that, though. Now if you open the switch to make the league, if he's open the power forward. I asked him if he said that. He said he was not. He's like, I'm one of the best centers, champ. Like, I should be at center, basically. And I was like, okay. I mean, don't be surprised the result you get on draft night. And that's basically what I told him. I was like, did Slay do things when he didn't make it season 1? Slay's story, I mean, listen, so first, Slay denied interviews back in season 2. Also, Slay did some, I'm not going to talk about it, but Slay did a lot of things. But again, I don't know everything to the stories, but I do know that, also Slay, I think over the years he didn't have the best relationships with everybody, and that was part of it too. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, but I just don't want the same wrong rumor to keep the... Goon could be good on there as well. Goon could be on here, but also I could put Goon. It's tough, man. There's definitely some guys that are right there that could be on the list too.
Yeah, and, it goes back to there are more pro level prospects than there are pro level spots available. That's really what the biggest thing is. So you can't take shit for granted at all.
Yeah. Well, everything matters, bro. Like every little bit, like that's why, like I said, like it's so important that you try to stay. Like you can't have like the slightest thing in this league anymore. Like even if there's a slightest stain on your, like if your reputation has the slightest stain on it, people just like look the other way, and that's just the reality. Like some GMs talk, man. I'll tell you that right now. GMs, coaches, they all talk to each other. They, and again, whether certain things are true or not, if it holds enough and you hear things enough, some people just take that as word, and I don't really agree with it, but it is true. There's definitely been things over the years with Goofy that have been talked about. Like this ain't like there's a reason why everything happens. Like I don't think 24 teams all thought didn't think that there was something. They would have taken him then. especially because there was people taking over Goofy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, again, and those guys all chose to say we're power forward or center. Goofy chose not to be. He just wanted to be a center. That's on him. You know what I mean? He knows that. He thought he was one of the best centers. He thought that he was good enough to get right back in. But we see how the league is now. And I hope Goofy, I don't know what he's going to do moving forward. I don't know if he's going to come back or he's going to focus on 3v3. I don't know if he's going to tell teams, hey, now I can play power forward if there is a call-up. I don't know. It just depends. But either way, right now he's on the outside looking in. And I know a lot of these guys, they're still, dealing with the pain. Trust me, that Spaces the other day was just insane. Like, that Spaces the night after the draft was just, it was tough to watch. So many behind-the-scenes drama, hard to understand that from the outside looking in. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't even know. Again, I try not to speak on everything. Again, I don't like, I try to be honest about how I think about it and what I see. I tell you what I see and what I hear, and then I try to understand. Again, I don't know if you can talk about this, but is there a reason the Blazers just didn't keep Goofy? They just didn't see eye to eye, man. That's from what I know. They just didn't agree on things, and they wanted to move on from him.
And you think about it, they made the playoffs, but they would have to give up a first-round pick in order to keep him in a class that there are a lot of center prospects. So if they really wanted to bring back Goofy, they could have brought him back in the later rounds. But it just goes to show you, like, if an organization really cared, that you see it. Look at Bully. Look at J-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
If an organization really messes with you, they really like you, they'll definitely bring you back. So obviously, there's something going on.
Yeah, that's true. But I will say, a lot of these orgs, like, they also have specific, like, plans for what they want to do and, like, what kind of team they want. And, like, again, if your personality doesn't seem to match a lot of teams, like I guess, like, cultures or whatever, like, if they don't feel your personality matches them, like, I'm not saying change your personality, but, like, I think I think the most important thing is watch the league, learn what team you feel like relates to you and fits you the best, and, like, work towards creating connections with the players and people on those teams, and then presenting your skill to them. I think that's the most important thing a lot of people have to do.
Dave, Goofy was not an all-star last year.
No, he wasn't.
Definitely not.
No. No, he wasn't. No, I mean, again, I think this list is not bad. I mean, I'm not gonna. There's definitely some people that you can probably, like, move around.
Kind of want to go through the whole. Like, I'm trying to pull up.
I have a actual here. Here, I'm gonna put this into. I'm gonna send this to you real quick. I set it up a specific way to make it easier. Hang on, I don't know if you'll be able to edit. I'm just gonna put it. I just sent it right now.
You sent it in the Discord chat?
No. That's on Twitter. I sent it to you on Twitter. Or I mean, I can put it in the Discord chat.
No, that's all good. I got it.
It's, like, set up a certain way to where you have to go. Yeah, it's top 10 snubs. Go to top 10 snubs. Oh shoot. Hang on. Crap. Sorry, I didn't make you an editor.
You're good, bro.
Try this one.
I got it.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
I think Breaker and Warnock's one of them, because let's be fair, the biggest thing about them was just the language barrier. Mm-hmm. I definitely feel that their talent is better than some of the prospects drafted this year. Mm-hmm. It's just the language barrier, and people are freaked out about EU prospects. But the fact that Breaker is moving better than most guards with that delay, and Warnock's is just him. But same thing, being able to move, but it's just the delay. It's all of the other stuff that people over.
Let me ask you, what are the qualifications of a snub? Like, can we, like, if I write this on here, can we, like, actually have, like, actual things, like, that kind of verify what we mean by a snub? Because I feel like everyone has a a different definition of a snub because like for Breaker, I agree. I from a skill end of things, like yeah, he's in a situation to where like he's moving, but at the same time, like, did we ever actually expect him to go in this year's draft because of this like? Because like, if we're being honest with ourselves, like I think most people even like were saying like it's kind of tough with the international situation right now. It's like, so do we truly expect them to get taken this year? I don't think so. I mean, I think it was a rough year. I think we're still, uh, I think we're still working to like open that bridge up, especially with COVID. So I don't think that it was going to happen this year. Only snub on here is Glenn. Everyone has their own thoughts on it. Everyone else was 50-50. I mean, but that, I mean, I think Merck was expected to get, like, it was, I think that if I was to say for most of these players, I think that Merck had like a 60% chance. Like, just based on, like, what he did, I think he did a very good job. I mean, I don't think I think a lot of, like, the people on here, Polo, I think, definitely did a lot of things right. He competed right.
You think Youngstar?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think he was going to get picked, but that's everyone has their own opinion on that.
Or Logic Stark?
Logic Stark, now that's one I think that definitely, but I don't know who I'd replace him with on here because, I mean, everyone on here is pretty. I mean, you're naming people that definitely snubs, but I just don't know if I would like say like they're more of a snub than like some of these people. Like the thing about some of these snubs, it's like okay, you know, Perms and Thugs, right? They went to one of the biggest events of the year. They performed, and then they did. You know, they obviously continued to play, and that's what's important. And then, you know, I think with Goofy played all year. I don't know why he didn't stream as much. Does it feel like Goofy didn't stream? Like, did he stop streaming, or is it just me? Like, am I crazy? Like, I feel like Goofy streams were all the time, and then he just like didn't stream as much. I don't know. I feel like it's like I know it sounds weird, but when a player like that doesn't stream, like especially someone who has that platform, why aren't you streaming to get back into the league as much? Like he definitely streams, but not as much as he used to. I get it. We got stuff going on, man. Like I get it, but like I don't know, man. I feel like I didn't feel that same like Goofy grind. I remember Goofy literally would like play every freaking day, and that dude was like crazy. He was cracked at it. So I don't know. I think that this list. I definitely agree with you more and more with like Merck being high on a list, but again, all these other players definitely did something for why they didn't get picked, but they're still a snub. Like they're definitely still a snub. He got game, deserved to be drafted. Let's not do that. Best top teams with 0 teammates who even made one person's mock. 100% not saying he didn't. Is there a team being added to the 2K League after the season? I don't know. That's a question. I don't know. You know what I mean? He went 7th this year. That kind of proves that he didn't play more Pro-Am. Interesting, chat. Interesting. Is there anyone on here that should be replaced by someone that's not on here? That's my question.
I think for the most part, a lot of people are 50-50s. Regardless, like I don't think, and it's unfortunate that the public is not privy to a lot of that information of knowing that, hey, you know, you're one of the people that we were deciding on at this pick. Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of thing. Because that shit is not easy. You're deciding between, you know, 2 to 3 people. You're going through it all. You're going through whoever's in your room. If you have analysts, assistant coaches, head coaches, GMs, players, you know, personnel of your entire organization. There's so many people who have to give input into picks. And it really boils down to, okay, who's the better fit overall, who people vote on, whatever. Like, it's different circumstances for each team. But that's really what it comes down to. It's very difficult. Some people don't realize how close they are to being picked at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's definitely the hard thing about it is like, you know, a lot of the draft. I think the toughest thing for coaches is like when you're interviewing players.
Benzo, look, that's a that's a that's a toss up because he got game really started coming on to the scene late. Let's be real. If Fab didn't get kicked out of the pool, if Greens was still in the pool, if Chalk was still on the team, like same thing. If we didn't lose half the guards we did, he would have been an afterthought. He got drafted because of necessity. I don't think we call him a whatever okay, like he definitely deserved to be drafted. Yeah, the kid has skill. He has hella potential, but he has to prove it at the league level.
Nap, I do. I have again, I can send it to you, Nap, but I'm not gonna it's not meant for the world. Again, I'm not. I'll send it to you, Nap.
There's one on the website.
Yeah, I know. It's on the website, but I'm saying I also have other things on my Google Docs that I don't want people. Because Google that one I have that I sent you, there's stuff on there I don't want. I got you.
Again, when it comes to this stuff, I just want to keep emphasizing I'm not being an asshole. I'm being realistic.
Joe, you're an asshole. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I guess so. No, but after being a part of the process last year, seeing everything that goes through, seeing how this year's draft class was the worst when it came to marketing themselves.
Oh my God, yeah. Is it a snub?
People have no one to blame but themselves.
That's an interesting question. Is it a snub if you're in the league? If you were in the league before, is it considered a snub? I probably would. I do agree with moving Goofy down, but at the same time, Goofy still was not a bad center league, but he did it to himself. He limited his spots. I'm not opposed to moving Idris up. I would switch Idris and Goofy, to be honest with you. But again, I just need to know maybe I missed it. I saw Idris here and there. I didn't know he was going to see him, and that's the hard thing is sometimes when players aren't on streams. That's why I always think players, if you have the opportunity to stream, please stream your games yourself and not have I get it, not everyone has the equipment, but if you have an opportunity to stream, I don't know, man. You got to put it out there, especially Goofy, a guy who Goofy, who I know has the stuff. I feel like I didn't see him that much. I don't know, and I don't know if he was just relying on his private conversations to get him in. Bag did it without equipment. That's true.
Definitely did.
There's definitely Bag. I think was probably one of the best people this year to really put himself out there, and I think ultimately, yes, he's got the skill, but I also think he put himself out there. The best.
He played in tens. He showed out where he got the respect to others. Because you remember in the beginning of pre-draft or early on the pre-draft, nobody gave a fuck about Bag. They thought that Bag was ass. Okay, people are overhyping him. None of the league players gave him respect. And then he continued to hoop. And he continued to hoop. He continued to show the same consistency in winning. Moved to another team. Continued to win. And he started to gain the respect of those league players. So, he did it right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there was definitely a lot of missed opportunities this offseason for people. I think people just didn't put a lot of effort in. They just you can play the game all you want, but you do it sounds crazy, but you do what's our number one source, Joe, to get recognized in this community? I just need to know what's the number one source. Where do we see the most information about people? What social media?
First, hold on, let me answer this. Symptoms. Yeah, man, you missed it. Champ made just 5 YouTube videos in the span of one stream. The man is grinding.
Oh yeah, right now we're having a convo about top time snubs. It's actually a pretty good convo.
I just want you to know, Champ, I'm setting an invoice. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Hey, man.
Nah, let me stop. But I guess A-Rook's tough name, but A-Rook's didn't do shit either.
Yeah, again, bro. First of all, if he was playing, because I always hate when people say, "Oh, he was playing all pre-draft," but I'm not saying I see everything, but bro, if I hear multiple people saying that a certain individual wasn't playing, doesn't that make you think okay, maybe he wasn't putting himself out there enough? Why are people snubs, man? Because they are ass. Half these guys are ass.
You know who I think is a good snub? Jacob.
Jacob, huh?
Let's go, Jacob.
I think Jaden's a good.
Jaden 2KL.
Yeah, Jaden, Jay Curry.
Yeah. Like, Sick has the point. What makes people snubs? Because they say they are. Half of these guys are ass. I mean, to each their own with their personal opinion. I think that 50-50s, I'm 100% in agreement with you guys in the chat. 50-50s aren't snubs. If you were a 50-50, like, I think Range was a 50-50. He's not a snub.
But
And that's my guy.
I'm just wondering though, like if you're, again, from my I'm saying from my angle, right? Because I'm obviously one of the few people who do mocks, right? And if I feel like I'm projecting a player high to get taken, like somewhere, and they don't get taken, like in my eye, that's a snub to me, just because like I projected and I thought this guy was getting taken high. So like, again, seldom.
So none of these people should have been snubs. None of these people, if that's because I definitely agree with that logic, 100%. Then there's nobody on this list that should be snubs because none of these people here were looked at as first round talents.
So you have to be
maybe
a first
Glenn.
round. You have to
maybe
be,
Glenn.
You have to be a first round talent to be considered a snub. But what
No,
makes,
I don't even think Goofy is a snub because Goofy didn't want to play a secondary position. Goofy was in a spot where there was only 3 open spots. I don't think he's a snub. He was a 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Larry played a bunch of during pre-draft and can play power forward. So, yeah, but we talk about scenarios for everybody. Like I think there's a reason why certain people didn't they got left out. I mean, Larry knows why he's not he knows what happened. Like he's aware. Like with his situation with that trade scenario, it's so hard for some GMs to forget about that. You know what I mean? Like I know it's like, and I don't want to hang on it. I don't really want to go into it, but it's like, dude, like you do something like that, it's not it's remembered, especially because it was a major trade. And it was a major thing. Like GMs know, they saw that, they remember that. A snub to me is Cooks last year. I mean, I had my snubs list last year. I mean, I had quite a few people from last year. I don't know where it is. Do I have my snub list here? Let's see if I have it from last year. I know I have it on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Oh wait, no, this is my sleepers list, I think, from last year. Yep. Let me see something. Yeah, I mean, dude, people get missed out every year, bro. It's just how it goes, man. I mean, I'm sorry for those guys. I'm sorry you have to, sit at home now. But at the same time, dude, there's opportunity. There's so much opportunity for this league. I don't think people understand. You can get into you can get called up, bro. Damn well someone's gonna get called up this year. And damn well there's 3v3. I don't think Frank keeps mentioning 3v3, and I don't think it's going through some people's heads yet. Dude, there's, oh my goodness, hang on. We have a celebrity. Listen, the myth, the man, the legend, Mr. Rubenstein, aka Harris Rubenstein, aka Sports Teen. Welcome, Harris. Or not. And he's gone. No, his mic's not working. Anyway, guys, that was Sports Teen. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Harris. Appreciate you, man. Anyway, as I was saying, take these ads off. I'm over here watching Realm of Chaos. What's wrong?
Nah, Jerry, that means you a mod, bro. You should be subbed up.
Yeah, bro. Realm of Chaos. What's wrong with Realm of Chaos, bro? Right? You don't like Realm of Chaos? Also, I have my ads running every 15 minutes. Oh, I'm muted? Who's muted? Muted? I don't see. I see Mike's moving, so I don't think anyone's muted. But no. Like I said, though. Mike's moving, so I don't think anyone's muted. Yeah, I can hear myself in Joe's mic, so I know that I'm muted.
Turned it up. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that snubs lists are definitely always tough because it's you have such a small sample of people that could get taken, and oh Well, guys, welcome back. Mr. Harris Rubenstein, aka Sports Teen, is live on ESPN. How's it going, Harris? Okay, thanks for coming on, Harris.
He's trying to connect.
Yeah, I know.
He's trying to connect so bad. He's like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Bro, I had to restart my whole computer just to get Discord to work. Bro, you're still gone after 5 hours?
Bro, he made 5 YouTube videos.
Damn. I like it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're having a good
Twitch
time.
to YouTube to TikTok. That's the stuff. Just get into Instagram Reels, champ.
Gotta build it one way, right?
What are you guys talking about?
We're having a conversation about, like, are there snubs in this draft, right? You know, it's kind of a tough combo because it's like, I feel like everyone has a different definition of a snub.
Sure.
What would you say, Harris, is your, like, relative, like, definition for a snub?
Anybody who didn't get picked that would have been a top 30 player in the class. That's what I kind of classify as a snub.
So
And for me, the only person that I think truly qualifies on that is probably Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody else, if you were really gonna like Perm too, I don't understand why Perm didn't get picked. I would say Glenn, Perm, Idris, and Goofy were probably my like actual snubs. I think everybody else were probably just going to be role players in the league anyway. But I think those guys had the potential to be really, really good. Like Doug's had that potential too, but I think he needed to be on the right team for that. And I like Range. Range is, I'd sat next to
what
Range
about
on
like
the whole flight to
Screddy?
Vegas.
What about like Screddy? Like Screddy?
See, Scret's tough, man, because he plays sharp. Like it's unfortunately it's kind of a dying position. And I mean, we saw him in Vegas, right? Like we saw him and Racy in the backcourt for that denial team. They aight, they're okay. But like it wasn't anything where you're like running to the podium like, God damn, like we gotta get this guy. It's unfortunate, man. Like all those sharps are gone, right? Rooks is gone, Screddy's gone, Swizz is gone.
The reason I was preaching timely is because I think we give all these second chances to players. I feel like I never understand why do we always give second chances. Like we always give second chances to PGs, but we don't give it to a lot of these role players. Like I don't understand that. Like why is it the stars get these like second chances, but the role players are just like if you're ass, you're gone.
Well, because that's all sports, right? Like, there are a lot of great players that will be on Super Bowl teams or something that'll be out of the NFL in 3 years just because they're more role players than like real like pillar guys.
Look at Jay.
Yeah, Jay. That's
oh my god.
I think what's cool about this year's draft class is that since there are less picks, there are more guys that we can point to and be like, oh yeah, man, like if he has a great offseason, he's getting picked next year. Right? Like Range is like a perfect example of that, right? Like we know who Range is now. Like we're going to be watching him all off season.
Yeah, same thing goes for Buddha. Same thing goes Buddha.
Yeah, Buddha, Polo, even guy like Seldom and Merck. Like I know Merck had made a name for him last off season, but like there's just a process to these things, and I'm excited to see what next year's draft class. Symptom says you can still be a sharp, just got to have a bag as well. That's not really what a sharp is. Not at least not in the league context. Obviously, a league sharp and a retail sharp is a little bit different. Retail sharp is like, I mean, retail sharp right now. You gotta be able to do everything. Like if you can't move right now as a retail sharp, you're done. But like in the league, like if you're on the right team, like all you're gonna really have to do as a sharp is like catch and shoot, rotate on defense, and run the break well. Like you're not gonna. My guy EG with the Pistons, like he's good and all, but like on a play to play average on average basis, like his role with that Pistons team is going to be pretty like pure sharp-esque. Like he'll be, there to bail out Radiant. He'll be there on offensive rebound kickouts by Ramo, and he'll be there to run the break and play defense. Like there just aren't a lot of sharp spots anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the game's always changing, and there's so much going on. Like originally, power forwards weren't guarding pick and roll. Like if you're a power forward,
Perm's a stunner.
Yeah.
I'm really stunned about Perm because he's like the perfect modern like power forward, like the ability to defend pick and roll, decent shooter out of the corner, really loud on defense. I think the problem is that like the teams that were probably looking for a power forward like him probably don't want somebody who's like really loud Like, take the Celtics, for instance. Like, they already got Colt. You know, the Knicks are going to have Glow running the back end. Like, you know, I feel like the spot that was there for him was the Grizz. But, you know, obviously we saw how that went. But
what makes you think, why did Merck go undrafted?
I think, honestly, Merck lost every 50-50. I think that's what it was.
yeah, I think he lost a lot of coin flips. But also, like, I mean, look at the power fours that got picked up this year, right? Like, a lot of, like, 1 year league pros, you know, guys with, like, 1 year of league experience that are getting a second try, at least at, like, the 4 or the 5. Like, you know, Rob is kind of the outlier because he has 2 years, but, like, Rob,